Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News for Tuesday, April 9th. We got incredible news for you folks today. We had Attorney General William Barr testifying in Congress. Not only that, we have released information from the James Baker testimony, more uncovering of criminal acts by Judicial Watch, as well as some exciting revelations regarding Jim Comey and his memos. Now, real quick, before we get into the news, I have a brief word from my sponsor. Guys, I want to ask you a question. What are you doing when you install antivirus software on your computer, or a smoke detector in your home, or you sign a prenup before you get married? Well, you're preparing. You're preparing for the worst, preparing for an attack, a hack, a fire, or God forbid, the breakup of your marriage. No matter how unlikely these things might be, you know it could happen, so you prepare. And that makes sense. The same thing goes for building a food storage plan. You are preparing for when natural disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. Or you can't get there because you're cut off from everything, like what's happening in some places in the Midwest, where flooding has made islands out of farms and subdivisions. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. I trust them and use them, and I think you should too. A 2-week food kit gets you started. They're available now for a special price of only $75 when you go to my special website, preparewithredpill78.com. These kits from My Patriot Supply include breakfast, lunch, dinner, and they last up to 25 years in storage. Order now so you're prepared. Go to preparewithredpill78.com. That's preparewithredpill78.com. All right, starting off. Breaking news, Nunes is at it again. He's filed a $150 million lawsuit against Pkwy over defamation related to the Russia collusion hoax. Look at this. Republican Representative Devin Nunes filed a $150 million lawsuit against Pkwy News, alleging conspiracy to derail Clinton and the Russia investigation. This comes after Nunes announced this past weekend he has 8 criminal referrals that he's set to give Attorney General Bill Barr. Representative Nunes joined Sean Hannity on Monday night to discuss his latest lawsuit and criminal referrals to AG Barr. Now, he said that the filing, obtained by Fox News, came a day after Nunes revealed he would send 8 criminal referrals to the Justice Department this week concerning purported surveillance abuses by federal authorities during the Russia probe and false statements to Congress and other matters. In March, Nunes filed a similar $250 million lawsuit alleging defamation against Twitter and one of its users, Republican consultant Liz Mayer. In Monday's complaint, Nunes again named Mayer as a co-defendant, charging this time that she conspired with Pkwy reporter Mackenzie Mays to spread a variety of untruthful and misleading smears, including that Nunes was involved with drugs and underage women of the night, online and in print. Reached for comment late Monday, Mayer directed Fox News to a USA Today op-ed she penned earlier this week concerning Nunes' previous lawsuit, entitled "Free Speech Means I Don't Have to Be Nice to Devin Nunes on Twitter, so why is he suing me?" Let's go ahead and take a listen to what Representative Nunes had to say to Sean Hannity.
All right, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Devin Nunes, is now preparing to send 8 criminal referrals to the Attorney General, William Barr, over the alleged misconduct during the Trump-Russia investigation. Also, just breaking now, Devin Nunes has filed a $150 million lawsuit against Pkwy News and alleging conspiracy to derail the Clinton-Russia probes. Congressman joins us now at the very latest. Let's start with your lawsuit. Wasn't this the same Pkwy that said that Michael Cohen was in Prague? I knew where Michael Cohen was. His son is a great athlete. His son, he was in Los Angeles with his son, let's just say showing off his son's great talent. He never was in Prague, and they doubled down on stupid. But that's only one example.
They did that twice, Sean. So they had dozens and dozens of stories. So a couple of the reporters there were the biggest perpetrators of the Russia hoax. And don't forget, they also targeted the National Rifle Association. They targeted a lawyer Cleta Mitchell. So all of this was done in concert while they were slandering and attacking me and defaming me, attacking Republicans. And the whole time they were getting this information from someone. And so part of the lawsuit here is not only that, they need to retract everything that they did against me, but they also need to come clean with the American people, retract all of their fake news stories. And so this is part of the broader cleanup. So remember a few weeks ago, I filed against Twitter that they're censoring conservatives. McClatchy is one of the biggest, the worst offenders of this, but we're coming after the rest of them. I think people are just beginning to wake up now that I'm serious. I'm coming to clean up all of the mess. So if you're out there and you lied and you defamed, we're going to come after you.
Well, I would add to the list, the cowardly Schiff. I've offered him an hour on the show, and I have a dossier on Schiff.
I can't sue him, but
I have him in his own words documented. I offered him 3 hours on radio and 1 hour here.
I don't know why he doesn't take it up, but he doesn't want to tell. I guess he's afraid.
I got a tape of him colluding with a Russian, or somebody believed to be a Russian, that had compromising materials and naked pictures of Trump, and he was hyperventilating on the phone call. Didn't know it was a hoax.
And don't forget, even after that, the Democratic staff followed up. So the media ignored. That's another thing that they ignored. So there's two things that happened in this, right? You had fake news stories that were very slanderous that have got to be wiped away and cleaned off the internet. And at the same time, you had that they would take these stories and ignore them, like the fact that you had staffers here that were attempting to collude with Russians, Democratic staffers colluding with Russians, trying to get information on Donald Trump. I mean, that really happened, and it's went largely unreported, except by very few in the conservative media.
And we also had the Hillary bought and paid for dossier, real Russia collusion, paid for to influence the election. Now we've got evidence. The Ukrainian officials on them with evidence and a tape. Joe Biden bragging they fired him. I don't have a lot of time. I want to get to the criminal referral issue. I know you begin with 8, but there might be more. What can you tell us, and how soon?
Yeah, so simply put, there's 5 that are straightforward. So 5 on lying, leaking, obstructing Congress. Those are five specific names. There are 3. One is a global leak referral. So remember, there's been, everybody knows about the leak between General Flynn and the Russian ambassador. We don't know that that's ever been investigated, but there's about a dozen others. So we're referring all of those to make sure that they get the proper sunlight put on them and transparency so that they can be followed up on. The other 2, I think, are more difficult that involve conspiracy. I think there were a bunch of people who wanted to be the next Watergate deep throat within the FBI and DOJ, and they were leaking, and they were proud to do it, and they were all conspiring together, and that's what we're asking the DOJ to look into.
If we don't hold them accountable for this abuse of power, this corruption at the highest levels, to first influence and help one candidate over another, and then literally upend the election of the American people, it will happen again and again. We'll lose the republic. Holding them accountable is key. Thank you, Congressman.
Now, what Liz Mayer did to Devin Nunes is, in my opinion, libelous. She made claims about him breaking laws that were clearly designed to disparage him in the public eye and to portray him as someone who would do some really disgusting things. And that had the potential to really destroy his credibility and character in the public eye. Now, she made allegations that he not only used illicit substances, but that he also engaged in horrible criminal acts that are not only firmly illegal and could be something that he could be removed from office for, but would also paint him to be something of a predator. Disgusting things. So being nice to someone or not being nice to someone on Twitter is wholly separate from painting them as a criminal, especially when you're in an elected office. So, Liz Mayer, you've got some splaining to do, and I believe that Devin Nunes has a very, very, very firm case. Now, next, from the James Baker testimony, James Baker tells Congress he received Hillary-funded junk dossier from liberal hack reporter David Corn. Representative Doug Collins He's a hero in my book. On Tuesday, released transcript of former FBI counsel James Baker's first interview with the House Judiciary Committee. James Baker gave 2 testimonies to the House Judiciary Committee in October of 2018, and according to the newly released transcript, James Baker told Congress that he received parts of the Hillary-funded junk dossier from radical left-wing Mother Jones reporter David Corn before the 2016 presidential election. David Corn published an article in Mother Jones on October 31st, 2016, where he quoted Christopher Steele. However, he did not mention Steele by name, nor did he disclose the salacious parts of the dossier. A version of the full 35-page dossier was published by BuzzFeed on January 10th, 2017. Corn later told the media that he gave parts of the junk dossier to James Baker after the election. Well, this contradicts James Baker's testimony. Baker's lawyer cut off Jim Jordan when he asked Baker if he talked to David Corn about anything the FBI was working on, specifically the Steele dossier. I'm sorry, I'm going to not let him answer these questions right now. You may or may not know, he's been the subject of a leak investigation, which is still a criminal leak investigation that's still active at the Justice Department, Baker's lawyer told Jim Jordan. Baker told Rep. Jordan that his very good friend David Corn was anxious to get the fake dossier over to the FBI. When Jordan asked Baker if Corn told him where he got the dossier from, he said he couldn't recall, but that there was a 302 taken of his interview with the FBI about it. Baker told Congressman Mark Meadows that he gave the dossier to top FBI official Bill Priestap without ever reading it. Meadows scolded Baker. "So you lacked curiosity to read something that significant," Meadows told Baker. "That seems strange. I mean, I would probably have read it," Meadows added. Baker told Meadows that he also received a version of the fake dossier from Michael Sussman, a lawyer for Pkwy, the law firm that represented Hillary Clinton and the DNC during the 2016 election. "Why would an attorney have this evidence at Pkwy?" Meadows asked Baker, to which he replied, he said that there had been, I'm not sure exactly how they originally learned about that information, but what he told me was that there were cyber experts who had obtained it. So now we know that the FBI received versions of the Hillary-funded fake dossier from multiple anti-Trump sources, including David Corn, Bruce and Nellie Orr, Michael Sussman, plus other shady Clinton-linked sources at the State Department like Sidney Blumenthal and Cody Shearer. Yeah, the more information that comes out, the more and more obvious it is that this, all of it, the whole thing, was funneled directly from HRC and her sycophants and the people doing her bidding. They wanted to make sure that this dossier went to as many different sources as possible. And, by all of these people bringing it to the government at the same time, well, suddenly it has a lot more legitimacy because you have legitimate employees of the DOJ and the FBI suddenly submitting this quote-unquote evidence, the salacious and unverified dossier. Well, the thing is, none of it was real. None of it was real. And as everyone starts to talk, their stories begin to fall apart. Now, on that note, Judicial Watch has uncovered yet again more FBI documents showing evidence of a cover-up and discussions related to Hillary Clinton's private server. Because we know whose side they were on. They were willing to do anything to make sure that she got elected. But it didn't work because she wasn't meant to be president. It wasn't her turn. Conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch announced Monday it uncovered 422 pages of FBI documents showing evidence of cover-up discussions related to Hillary Clinton's private email server with Platte River Networks. The newly uncovered documents also shows Charles McCullough, the Intel Community Inspector General, forwarding concerns about classified information found on then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's emails. Judicial Watch also obtained Hillary Clinton's 2009 Classified Information Non-Disclosure Agreement bearing her signature. Now, from Judicial Watch, FBI notes of an interview with an unidentified Platte River Networks official in February 2016, almost a year after the Clinton email network was first revealed, show that Platte River gave someone access to live HRC archive mailbox at some point. The same notes show that an email from December 11th, 2014 exists that reads, Hillary cover-up operation work ticket archive cleanup. Can you believe it? The interviewee said that the quote-unquote cover-up operation email probably related to change to 60-day email retention policy backup. The subject indicated that he didn't recall the prior policy. The notes also indicated redacted advised redacted not to answer questions related to conversation with DK David Kendall, document 49, based on the Fifth Amendment. The subject of that, everyone at PRN has access to client portal. Wow, so don't talk about it because it's going to incriminate you. A December 11th, 2014, Platte River Network's email between redacted parties says, it's all part of the Hillary cover-up operation. Smile. I'll have to tell you about it at the party. An August 2015 email from Platte River Networks says, so does this mean we don't have off-site backups currently? That could be a problem if someone hacks this thing and jacks it up. We will have to be able to produce a copy of it somehow, or we're in deep SHIT. Also, whatever came from the guys at Datto about the old backups? Do they have any way of getting those backups after we were told to cut it to 30 days? In March 2015, Platte River Networks specifically discusses security of the email server. Redacted is going to send over a list of recommendations for us to apply an additional security against hackers. He did say we should probably remove all Clinton files, folders, info off our servers, etc., or on an independent drive. Handwritten notes that appear to be from Platte River Networks in February 2016 mention questions concerning the Clinton email system and state of those backups. The documents also show Platte River Network's use of BleachBit on Hillary Clinton's server system while they were under congressional subpoena. This information was previously reported to the public. The BleachBit program was downloaded from a vendor called SourceForge at 11:42 a.m. on March 31st, 2015, according to a computer event log, and over the next half hour was used to delete the files on Hillary's server, Judicial Watch reported. The intel community's ICIG McCullough discusses his concerns over classified information found in Hillary's emails. A redacted sender writes to State Department official Margaret Peggy Graffeld that inadvertent release of State Department's equities when this collection is released in its entirety, the potential damage to the foreign relations of the United States could be significant. ICIG McCullough forwards the concern, saying, "Need you plugged in on this." There was infighting over the processing of Hillary Clinton's compromised emails. In an August 2015 classified memo prepared by the FBI Counterintelligence Division regarding the findings of the ICIG with respect to Hillary's email server, the FBI noted that the ICIG had found that in a sampling of only 40 of Hillary's 30,000 emails, 4 classified emails were found. A subsequent letter sent by Senator Richard Burr to ODNI Clapper regarding this sample of Clinton's emails noted that they were all classified at the secret level. In an August 2015 internal FBI memo, the FBI notes that Hillary Clinton had signed a June 28, 2011 official correspondence advising all State Department employees that due to recent targeting of personal email accounts by online adversaries, state employees should avoid conducting official department business from their personal email accounts. The same FBI memo noted that Under Secretary of State for Management Patrick Kennedy had sent a memo to all senior State Department officials on August 28, 2014, in which Kennedy included excerpts from the Foreign Affairs Manual that said that classified information must be sent via classified email channels only. The documents uncovered by Judicial Watch also show infighting between State Department Undersecretary Patrick Kennedy and the ICIG over the processing of the potentially compromised Clinton email communications. And as we know now, definitely compromised. A June 15, 2015 memo for the record prepared by the ICIG regarding the State Department's review of Hillary Clinton's emails indicates, among other things, that the retired Foreign Service officers that State was using to review Hillary's emails were not optimal. Judicial Watch uncovered new cover-up records of the illicit Clinton email system that further demonstrate the sham nature of the FBI DOJ investigation of her, said Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. These shocking new documents show that various Obama agencies were protecting Hillary Clinton from the consequences of her misconduct. It is well past time for the DOJ to stop shielding Hillary Clinton and hold her fully accountable to the rule of law. Wow. This is rock solid, airtight. You cannot claim ignorance with this anymore, HRC. You never could claim ignorance. It is common knowledge exactly how these things are supposed to work. She specifically sought to go around the regulations that were in place to protect this information from getting into the hands of our foreign adversaries. She specifically sought, with the help of her team, to cover up her use of this illegal private server in her bathroom at her summer home. These people knew exactly what they were doing the whole time. Judicial Watch has uncovered it all, and Tom Fitton is right. It's time for the DOJ to take some action, because at this point, the world is laughing at us. Well, all I can say is thank God for Bill Barr. Bill Barr was in Congress today, and he told lawmakers that the full Mueller report will be released next week with color-coded redactions. Attorney General Bill Barr testified before the House Appropriations Committee on Tuesday morning. During his testimony, Barr told the committee that the full Mueller report will be released next week. The report will include 4 color-coded redaction categories. First would be grand jury material. The second is classified information. The third is material tied to ongoing cases. And the fourth is information that could harm peripheral third parties. Well, the way they're setting it up, there's no way that the crybabies in Congress, the demon rats, are going to be able to say anything, because all they need to do is look at the color-coded material, and it's going to tell them exactly what it is that's missing, why they're not seeing it. So Jack Posobiec mentioned that Barr announces Mueller report will be redacted in 4 color-coded categories, exactly what we just went over. Now, AG Barr has said that his original timetable stands, and within a week he will be able to release the report to the public. Barr added during his testimony that officials will color code restricted information in the report so that the 4 categories are distinguished in the public report. Let's go ahead and take a listen to what AG Barr had to say before Congress.
And finally, we intend to redact information that implicates the privacy or reputational interests of peripheral players where there is a decision not to charge them. Right now, the special counsel is working with us on identifying information in the reports that fall under those 4 categories. We will color code the excisions from the report, and we will provide explanatory notes describing the basis for each redaction. So, for example, if a redaction is made because of a court order in a pending prosecution, we'll state that, and we will distinguish between the various categories. This process is going along very well, and my original timetable of being able to release this by mid-April stands. And so I think that from my standpoint, within a week, I will be in a position to release the report to the public, and then I will engage with the chairman of both judiciary committees about that report and about any further requests that they have.
So let me just get one thing clear for the record. My concern during my opening statement that when you redact something, we should know what area falls under. That you say will happen.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Not only that, but they are going to be providing explanatory notes describing the basis for each redaction. This is going to be so clear-cut, and it's going to make it very difficult for the demon rats to be able to say anything about it. They're going to get exactly what they want, and they're going to know exactly why they're not getting the redacted portions. Bill Barr is so on point. He is so our guy. if anybody has any reservations about Bill Barr, please, please take a look. Take a look at what he's doing, how he's doing it, and how it's not only following the rule of law, but how precisely it is benefiting Mr. Trump, President Trump, all of the Trumps, and everyone that has been smeared throughout this entire investigation. This is a real exclusive power play. Bill Barr knows what he's doing, and I got a lot of respect for this guy. So not only is Bill Barr producing exactly what the Democrats want and what the Republicans and President Trump need, he's also doing what the American people need. He said today that FISA abuses to spy on the Trump campaign are being investigated, and there's going to be a report out in May or June. Now, Attorney General Bill Barr again testified before the House Appropriations Committee on Tuesday morning, and during his testimony, Barr told Representative Robert Aderholt that the Inspector General, Horowitz, is investigating the FISA abuse during the previous administration's reign to spy on President Trump. The Attorney General said that the report will be completed in May or June. Now, he says the Office of the Inspector General has a pending investigation of the FISA process in the Russia investigation, and I expect that will be complete sometime in May or June, I'm told. So, hopefully, we will have some answers from Inspector General Horowitz on the FISA warrants. You better believe we're going to have some news on that. Let's go ahead and take a listen once again to Attorney General Barr.
Rights, as you know, as Americans, is the right not to be spied on by the government. A FISA order may only be issued based on a finding by the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court that probable cause exists to believe that the target of surveillance is an agent of a foreign power. One of our colleagues, Representative Nunes, has referred 8 persons to the FBI for investigation concerning alleged misconduct during the Russia investigation, including the leak of highly classified material and alleged conspiracies to lie to Congress and the FISA court in order to spy on then-candidate Trump and other persons. I would hope the Department of Justice will be giving these referrals appropriate and prompt consideration. My question is, now that President Trump has been exonerated of Russia collusion, is the Justice Department investigating how it came to be that your agency used a salacious and unverified dossier as a predicate for a FISA order on a U.S. citizen?
The Office of the Inspector General has a pending investigation of the FISA process in the Russian investigation, and I expect that that will be complete probably in May or June, I am told. So hopefully we'll have some answers from Inspector General Horowitz on the issue of the FISA warrants. Go ahead. More generally, I am reviewing the conduct of the investigation and trying to get my arms around all the aspects of the counterintelligence investigation that was conducted during the summer of 2016.
Are you investigating who leaked the existence of the FISA order against Carter Page?
Who what?
Are you investigating who leaked the existence of a FISA order against Carter Page?
I haven't seen the referrals yet from Congressman Nunes, but obviously if there's a predicate for an investigation, it'll be conducted.
If there is a predicate for an investigation, it will be investigated. Bill Barr is bringing the rule of law back to the United States of America. He is restoring the rights that we are afforded as citizens of the Republic. Bill Barr will take care of business. We all know exactly what happened. We understand it because we have been informed citizens the whole time. The rest of America, remember, the rest of America still has to catch up. So the existence of these reports is so vitally important as a part of doing that. I wouldn't be surprised if the report from the Inspector General was already completed, and its timing as a May or June rollout is just part of the whole plan to put this out in a way that feeds it into the consciousness of America. It's like a graduated cylinder. You got to step up, all right? They have to add a little bit at a time and allow people to understand just how far and deep these abuses went. We know, guys, but they've got to figure it out. So please give your friends and family on the other side of the aisle a little bit of credit. Allow them to come to this. Help them take that red pill, all right? Once this begins to come out in a greater fashion, it really is the job of each and every one of us to keep pushing those red pills and helping them understand exactly how bad this was. Because they're going to get it. They're all going to get it. They're going to understand. And the ones who did the abuse, they're really going to get it. Now, speaking of those ones who did the abuse, AG Barr has assembled a team to probe the FBI's actions taken in the Trump-Russia investigation during the 2016 election. If you could see the smile on my face, you guys. U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr has assembled a team to investigate decisions made under the former administration's corrupt FBI and DOJ, including actions taken during the investigation of Trump's campaign going back to the summer of 2016, according to a source who spoke to Bloomberg. Now, it appears that AG Barr is investigating allegations made by Republican lawmakers for over 2 years that the Trump-Russia investigation was corrupt from the beginning, with anti-Trump FBI and DOJ officials who weaponized the agencies to target a political opponent. I am reviewing the conduct of the investigation and trying to get my arms around all aspects of the counterintelligence investigation that was conducted during the summer of 2016, Barr told the House Appropriations Committee earlier Tuesday. Bill Barr's internal investigation by the Justice Department is separate from the Inspector General's probe. Barr told Representative Robert Aderholt that the Inspector General Horowitz is investigating the FISA abuse during the former administration to spy on Trump. The Attorney General said that the report will be completed in May or June. Aderholt on Tuesday also asked Bill Barr if his department was investigating how DOJ and FBI officials used a salacious and unverified dossier as a predicate for a FISA order on a U.S. citizen, which was completely illegal. And a FISA abuse if I've ever seen one. Barr will also be investigating the criminal probe that corrupt FBI agents opened into a former Attorney General Jeff Sessions in 2017 for his contacts with Russian Ambassador Kislyak when he was a senator. Sessions did nothing wrong, but he recused himself like a coward in March of 2017 after he was pressured to step down from his post. Senate Judiciary Chairman Lindsey Graham previously called on Bill Barr to appoint a new special counsel to investigate Russiagate. Once we put the Mueller report to bed, once Barr comes to the committee and takes questions about his findings and his actions, and we get to see the Mueller report consistent with law, then we are going to turn to finding out how this got off the rails, Graham said a couple weeks ago in a presser, which we covered here. Barr is scheduled to appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee for a hearing on May 1st. According to previous reports, AG Barr was reportedly against the idea of a special counsel to investigate Russiagate and the coup plotters. This report by Bloomberg and Barr's comments to the House panel earlier Tuesday appear to confirm those reports. Now, me personally, I'm not so worried about a special counsel. I believe that Attorney General Barr has the ability to look at this with a fair and unbiased lens. So I think that's what Bill Barr is thinking. I'm thinking that, he's the Attorney General. It's within his purview to investigate and then, make a finding and prosecute. So this is going to be okay. We're going to be fine without another special counsel. Not to mention, it's not going to drag it out over the next several years, and it will all be within his hands. He's going to be in control of the whole thing, and that is a wonderful thing to have because Bill Barr is our guy. I can't say it enough. Bill Barr is on our team so hard. Now, moving on to our last two stories, it was confirmed today that Trump-hating leaker James Comey was a witness in the Mueller investigation. Newly released FBI court docs confirm James Comey was indeed a witness in the Mueller investigation, and his classified Trump memos were of interest in the special counsel probe. The FBI and the special counsel's office have determined that disclosure of the Comey memos could reasonably be expected to adversely affect the pending Russia investigation. The Comey memos are his contemporaneous notes about incidents that are of interest in the investigation. The documents were released as part of a FOIA lawsuit filed by, of course, Judicial Watch, CNN, USA Today, and others against the FBI in an effort to make Comey's Trump memos public. A couple weeks ago, U.S. District Court James Boasberg in Washington ordered the FBI to turn over Comey's Trump memos, both clean and redacted versions, by April 1st, as he weighed releasing them to the public. Boasberg asked the FBI to file an opinion about the release of Comey's memos since Mueller's investigation is now concluded. This sheds new light on Comey's behavior over the last 2 years following his firing as FBI director. Did his buddy Mueller give him immunity? Comey has been trashing President Trump from his Twitter account and in media blitzes promoting his book of lies titled A Higher Loyalty. Comey has been trashing Trump without fear of reprisal, almost as if his buddy Mueller granted him immunity. In April of last year, Comey took aim at President Trump in his first TV interview since he was fired in May 2017. Comey warned in April of 2018 in an interview with George Stephanopoulos that if Trump tried to fire Mueller, it would be the president's most serious attack yet on the rule of law. Comey also pushed the lie that it's possible the Russians have damaging information on Trump that could be used against him. There's a non-zero possibility that the Russians have some sway over him that is rooted in his personal experience. And I don't know whether that's the business about the activity in a Moscow hotel room or finances or something else. Comey previously said in USA Today, spreading lies from the unverified HRC-funded dossier. James Comey also declared that Trump is morally unfit to be president and claimed there is certainly some evidence of obstruction of justice by the president. All the while, Comey was a witness in Mueller's investigation. And when exactly did James Comey give his buddy Robert Mueller his memos? Then FBI Director James Comey personally signed off on 3 FISA applications to spy on Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. One of the FISA warrants Comey signed off on was after he met with President-elect Trump on January 6, 2017 at Trump Tower, with the intent of putting the incoming administration under a cloud of suspicion with an investigation and criminal leaks to the media. President Trump fired Comey as FBI director on May 9, 2017, and Comey immediately went into overdrive to launch a special counsel probe into the president as revenge. Comey admitted during a congressional hearing that he gave portions of his memos to a friend, Daniel Richman, to leak to the New York Times in order to prompt a special counsel investigation into President Trump for obstruction of justice. Within 24 hours of the memo leak to the New York Times, Mueller was appointed as special counsel on May 17, 2017. How did a special counsel get appointed so quickly? When exactly did Comey share his memos with Robert Mueller? Comey previously said he gave copies of his memos to Robert Mueller. However, he did not specify the exact date. Comey penned 7 memos stemming from 9 conversations he had with President Trump during his time at the FBI. Did Comey brief Mueller on his Trump memos when he penned them back in early 2017, January, February, and March, before he was appointed special counsel? You can read the full court filing on Comey's memos at this link. You guys can find that in the description box below. Yeah, when exactly did Comey start shopping these memos around Washington? You know, I think that it's very possible that Comey shared them at quite an early date. You know, he was willing to do anything to make President Trump look bad and sow the seeds of discontent and, you know, planting these seeds of obstruction when clearly there never was any, because there was never any crimes that were committed by President Trump or anyone significant in his administration. And even the ones who were convicted, these were at best process crimes, perjury traps that people were, you know, snared into because they were not willing to say bad things about President Trump. You also had Paul Manafort, who was convicted of things he was previously exonerated for. Very, very sad what happened to Paul Manafort. But who knows? It could all be part of Trump's grand plan. We're going to have to wait and find out, guys. And I know It's difficult doing that, but I think it gets a little bit easier every day because we are clearly nearing the end. Now, one more story on James Comey. FBI court docs reveal that Comey's memos contained classified information, including the name of a confidential source used against Trump. Newly released FBI court docs confirmed James Comey was indeed a witness in the Mueller investigation, and his Trump memos were of interest in the special counsel probe. Now, according to the court filing released late Monday, Comey's memos contained classified information contrary to Comey's claims, including the name of redacted of the confidential source the FBI used against Trump. The documents also suggest then FBI Director James Comey began his coup against President Trump because he didn't like his foreign policy decision-making. The documents were released as part of a FOIA lawsuit filed by Judicial Watch and others in an effort to make Comey's Trump memos public. The FBI previously pushed back on March 1st and wrote to Judge Boasberg, an appointee of the previous administration, saying that the memos were still redacted and classified and should remain under seal to avoid interfering with Mueller's inquisition. Mueller's witch hunt ended a few weeks ago, so the judge asked the FBI to file an opinion about the release of those memos. David Archie, the FBI lead investigator for Mueller's witch hunt, told the court that since the special counsel investigation has concluded, portions of Comey's memos can be released. David Archie informed the court that material from Comey's memos will continue to remain under seal and redacted. The FBI will file a further declaration on or before April 15, 2019, to explain why the remaining redactions to the third Archie declaration continue to be necessary. Now, here is a tweet from Sean Davis of The Federalist showing some of the information from the FOIA exemption. Right here shows that there are a couple things redacted. This would be the name of the confidential source. I'm very interested to know who that confidential source was. And I suggest you guys definitely head on over and check out those documents when you get a chance. Well, I think it's only a matter of time before the rest of Comey's memos are going to be made public. I believe that with the release of the Barr redacted portion of the Mueller report, once that is made public, there's a chance we could learn who this confidential source was. I think everybody's very anxious to know the name of that individual. I know that I certainly am. And I'm also very anxious for James Comey to see his day in court. I certainly hope that he did not receive immunity from Robert Mueller. All right, guys. Well, I think that's all I have for you today. I want to thank everyone for joining me. As always, I am Red Pill 78. This has been Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.